How are you? So this is going to be chapter 7 in my Barry Harris's chromatic scale workout book, okay? So today I'm going to explain to you how to use Barry Harris's chromatic scale, adhering to the rules in a funk situation, which to me is important because I don't play a lot of jazz. I play a lot of blues, but I play a lot of funk and a lot of sort of fusion music that is based on more of a 16th note syncopated type of rhythm. So it's really a different kind of thing when it comes to Barry Harris's scale, and I'll explain to you why. Up to this point, we've been playing Barry Harris's scale in swinging eighth notes, and swinging eighth notes are really good when you're playing jazz or when you're playing blues, right? So let's see here. For example, okay, so that's just like an example of maybe something I would play in a C blues using Barry Harris chromatic scale. But now when we play funk, eighth notes don't work really for your solo. Well, why? Because one, they ain't swinging, and two, because the general pulse of the music is going to be 16th notes. So your solos are going to, sort of focus more on 16th note rhythms, right? So just to give you an example, I'm not going to use the chromatic scale, but I'm going to play just like the rhythm that you want to adhere to for your solo, okay? So let's see if you can try to figure out exactly what I'm doing here. So you see when I played, I just played like a blues scale kind of ideas, but I'm sort of basing it on 16th notes, right? I'm going. Okay, so that's where the pulse of your solo sort of needs to be. I'm not saying you got to play 16th notes the whole time, but you want to generally be, emphasizing those 16th notes, okay? So in this case, how is Barry Harris's chromatic scale going to work? So if we go back to what I said previously, well, you can play eighth notes and the chromatic rules are going to work pretty good. Let's see how that sounds like. Now remember how this is going to work is I'm playing in this position. Why do I play in this position? Because I like the C minor pentatonic scale. So in this case, C7 is going to be F major, F major scale. So I'm going to use Barry Harris's chromatic rules for the F major scale. That'll be like C mixolydian, okay? So in this position, the scale is going to be like this. But using Barry's rules, there's a whole step between that D note and the C note, and the C note and the B flat note, so we can go all the way chromatic between the B flat and the A note. That's a half step, so we got to jump back. That's how we're going to play the scale. Ascending. Now, let me just play this as eighth notes, and you'll see how weird it is, because they're not swinging, and it doesn't really, emphasize where the real pulse of this music is, the 16th notes. Okay, so check that out. So that didn't sound that good. So we don't want to do that. It sounds weird, right? But if you play chromatic scale in 16th notes, it's going to work out pretty good. So let's see. I'm going to post it up there, but look at that. If you look real carefully, you'll see that all the scale tones are going to be on the downbeat, and all the chromatic tones are going to be on the upbeats, and that's what we want. So it really doesn't matter if you play it as 8th notes or you play it as 16th notes, because the outcome is going to be the same. Scale tones down, chromatic tones up, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so for starters, I'm going to suggest that we play just a chromatic scale as it is, using 16th notes. So this tempo is what? Let me see. 87. 87 is pretty slow. It's 16th notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E end to 2 E end to 3 E end to 4 E end. It's not that fast. If the funk gets faster, you got to get your technique faster too. But in this case, I picked this tempo because it's not hard to play 16th notes, right? So here's the scale. I'm going to go as far as I can up, okay? Okay, and then descending. Okay, now let's try that to the track and see if we can do that. Try and play it with me, okay? I'm going to play it on the first measure, and then in between I'll just sort of mix, goof around playing a little bit of blues ideas, right? Okay, so try that with me. All right, so could you do it? Were you able to do it with me? If not, just rewind it, practice along with me until you get the feel for it and develop the technique for it, okay? It'll become more natural the more you do it, guarantee it. All right, so anyways, next, let's do something different here. Well, actually not so different, but let's just take it one measure at a time. Now we're playing 16th notes, so if we play 16th notes, there's going to be 16 notes in one measure, right? So we'll go up by one note at a time in the scale, starting from C and ascending first. And then where is that going to leave us? Let's just try it one time, okay? Right? So that C note is going to take you all the way to D. That D note is going to be the first note of the next measure. You see what we're doing? 1 and 2, 1 E end, 2 E end to 3 E end to 4 E end to 1. That's where we're going to end up. And so now what we're going to do here, just for the sake of practicing, because you want to be musical as much as we can, let's just do it one measure at a time, moving up one note at a time, and let's see where that leaves us. Where's the last note going to leave us? Meaning, is that note going to be safe to sit on, or is it going to be not so safe to sit on? So I'm going to suggest that when you practice this, you do it like that. And the first note's going to end up on D, right? Now, D is going to be the ninth of the C chord. And that's all right. It's in the chord, so it's going to sit okay. But let's say it feels like it wants to go somewhere else. Well, then you just bring it somewhere else, right? If you bring it down to C, or maybe you bring it up to E, and you play some kind of blues lick or something, all right? So we're going to do that one at a time and try to figure out a way to make it as natural as possible, okay? So here we go. Notice when I started from E, that leaves me on an F note. F note is not the greatest note to stop on for a C chord. It's kind of weird. So what did I do? I probably want something like this. And that sort of resolves that problem. F is not a bad note. It just doesn't sit so well in the C chord. But still is a great blues lick. So that's how I fixed it. So this is what you sort of want to do. Same thing with the A. It's okay, but the flat 7 is the B flat, and that's just real close. So, you find a way to fix these little issues and resolve to a nice sound. Okay, so next we're going to do the opposite, right? And then the opposite is going to go from D note descending. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. Depending on where it leaves us, we'll figure a way to resolve it in a nice manner that our ears enjoy. Okay, so let's try that. right. So going from the D note to this, I think I sort of messed it up, right? But so I did it again, and I made it better. All right. So that's sort of the way that you want to practice, is for starters. But remember, if you do this enough, then you can just sort of have fun with it, right? You want to try to, experiment and just pretend you're playing a solo here, and try to mix these things up. And they don't have to be a full measure. They can be little tiny sections, or they could be longer, or whatever you feel like doing. You should experiment and have fun until it becomes natural, and you can do it without thinking about it so much. So let me see if I can do that, okay? Okay, cool. So this is how you're going to get these phrases into your 16th notes. Okay, and this was really sort of a cool thing that I've found out. I've been doing a lot of it on my gigs and stuff, and it's pretty cool. People go, "Wow, what was that cool like fusion jazz sound and stuff you did in those funk tunes?" Right? And that's what it is. It's Barry Harris's chromatic scale. So again, try to mix these up with that minor pentatonic scale and see what you can come up with. Now, next week, or not next week, but on the next Barry Harris's chromatic scale lesson, I got a cool surprise waiting for you. And this is really going to take it to the next level, okay? And so make sure you get this down first, though, and go get that workbook. That workbook is now on chapter 7, and the next one will be chapter 8. And so make sure you're up to date and you can play all the scales using the patterns. And stay tuned for the next one, which is really going to be an important one, okay? All right, so work on it and tell me how it goes.